The next couple of videos on our channel are going to focus on the years we were born and things we like from those years. So up first will be Lauren with the year 1985, and the first of two videos she's going to do on 85. And now this, we rarely do like countdowns on here, but are these your 5 favorite albums in order from that year, or just your 5 favorite?
Just 5 favorite. I mean, maybe reverse order almost.
Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the top 2 are my top 2.
Okay.
But everything else after that is just tied for 3.
Right on. 85 is one of those years that was just a monster year. So we always say on this channel, like, hey, share this video out or drop a like or drop a comment. But definitely with this, because Lauren's got some great picks on here, but I know, even for me, that there are records from 85 that I'm like, how did that not make the...
I know, it was hard.
So yeah, having said that, the year you were born, 1985, lots of massive amount of great music. What were your 5 favorite albums from that year?
I mean, I Am Who I Am, so the first one on my list has to be Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al Yankovic. And I'll tell you what, this was his 3rd album, and the first side of it is rock solid. Like, I think it was the best thing he'd done up to that point, and it just kind of gave you an idea, oh, this guy's going places.
And a lot of the second side is there.
It's just there. Yeah, the side A. That's what you want.
But I will say this was the first Weird Al album that I went out and bought when it was new. In 3D is where I heard of him, like most people with Eat It. But in 3D had been on the market for a while before I picked it up. This was the one that, like, as soon as I heard of it, I was like, I have to go get that.
That's
right now.
great.
Yeah, and it is. It really, I don't. There's not a lot to dislike on side B, but side A is. Really,
it's just stacked.
Yeah. From one artist that no one is surprised you're talking about to another artist that no one is surprised that you're talking about.
Rock a Little by Stevie Nicks. This is also her 3rd solo album, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it's this is very, very 80s Stevie Nicks. I've talked a bit about this period of her career on the channel here before, and it's different. You could tell she was trying something, but there are some real bangers on this. There's a track called The Nightmare that makes every Halloween playlist.
And was I Can't Wait was the single off of this one?
Yep.
Okay.
And Talk
that's
to
one,
Me.
I know this is so silly, but I told you this recently that I always remembered I Can't Wait as an 80s song, and as distinctive as Stevie's voice is, I forgot that was a Stevie Nicks song.
That's great.
Until we were recently listening to Rock a Little on vinyl, and when the song started, I was like, oh no, this really is Stevie Nicks.
Yes.
The next one is not a 3rd album, but I think their 2nd record, and
yeah,
what a monster LP.
It's such a monster. Songs from the Big Chair, Tears for Fears, and I don't know. I don't even know what it is about Tears for Fears. Like, they're not an act that I really, really dug too deep into. But there's just something about this album, and especially the song Head Over Heels for me, that I'm just like, I just love.
Well, you're a big synth girl.
That'll do it.
There's a lot of great synth work in that track and across the record too. But this is an album that for me, I always knew the singles, Shout, Everybody, and Head Over Heels. And about 5 years ago, after owning the record for years, I put it on and listened to it straight through, and was blown away by stuff that I didn't know from the album that was just incredible. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. Now, you've got some traction on the channel before talking about this next group, because quite frankly, a lot of people don't expect a woman to be talking about this group. And this is one that I was like, oh yeah, that did come out that year.
Sure did. Rush, Power Windows. And, what gets played on, classic rock radio is always 70s Rush, right? And I think there are so many awesome gems in 80s Rush. I think I have a video on Hidden Gems from Rush, and it's all 80s Rush.
Yeah, she's got a couple of videos on Rush on the channel. So if you're a Rush fan and you haven't heard her talk about Rush yet, search the channel for Rush, because the only Rush videos on the channel are you talking about the band.
Neat.
Yeah. But Power Windows, though.
Yeah, Power Windows. It's got the Manhattan Project, which is one of the tracks on my underrated Rush songs video. But then Big Money, and you can't go wrong with Power Windows.
No, I totally agree. And like I say, she's a much bigger expert on Rush than I am, so I don't have a lot to add to that. But it was one that when I saw it on your list, I was like, oh yeah. Now the next one, before you say what it is, I'm going to ask you: do you know the story behind the title of this record?
No.
Because, okay, if not, tell the people about the album and what you like, and then I'll share the story behind the title of the album.
Oh, I'm excited about it now. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. I love this album from him. Prior to this, like his solo stuff, it was divorce albums, right? Very angry. And this is not that.
Yeah.
This is like, we're kind of through that. So we've got Susudio on there and we've got, One More Night and stuff like that. And it's just, I think this, from Phil Collins, this is probably his best, like, pure pop album, and I just think it's fantastic.
And also, he wasn't trying to emulate anything else on this, too. There's other records where he, not that it's a bad thing, but where he was trying to, You Can't Hurry Love and that type of stuff, where he was trying to purposely doing other sounds. And this is like, if someone was to ask me, like, what does Phil Collins sound like, I would play pretty much anything off of this record.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, regarding the cover of this record, Phil Collins, or the name of this record, rather, Phil Collins, like myself, has an inability to let things go. He can hold a grudge for years and years and years. And he was out in L.A., went to a restaurant, and was, very hoity-toity place, and was told you have to have a jacket to dine at this place. And he said at the time I don't think he ever was, but he wasn't the type of guy to go, well, do you know who I am? But he was like, well, yeah, but like, I'm just a human being that wants to eat here. And this guy just like leveled him about how dare you not have a jacket. And for years, Phil stewed on this. And then when they wanted to name this album, he was like, oh, you remember that jerk in the restaurant? And so that's why this album's called No Jacket Required.
That's so great.
Because he's still mad about the guy that he ran into in the restaurant.
I love it.
Yeah, which I love. There's a lot of, there's one in particular really big Phil Collins pop culture story out there that's not right. That's not true. The In the Air Tonight story about the drowning and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But the No Jacket Required story, no one knows, and it's true.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, when I saw that on your list, I was like, oh, my man, Phil, he can hold a grudge too.
Oh, I love him even more now.
Yeah. So anyways, those are 5 of Lauren's favorite albums from 1985. And like I said at the top of the video, what a monster year. Like, I could sit here and be like, how dare you about so many different albums, and I know you could too. So let us know what you think of Lauren's picks, and drop some of your own great albums from 1985. And one thing I think is helping the channel grow, we've asked recently for you to share our videos with on your social media and into music groups and stuff. Since we've been asking for that, it seems like the channel is growing more. So hopefully that is what's happening. And if so, thank you. And if you would please drop a like on the video, that helps as well. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.